Darth Vectivus, the illusion of the good Sith Lord. Mainstream Star Wars theorists often paint Darth Vectivus as an anomaly among the Sith Lords, portraying him as a nice or morally upright Sith who adhered to his dark principles without succumbing to the destructive chaos that defines most of his counterparts. This interpretation is primarily based on his portrayal in Legacy of the Force, Betrayal by Aaron Alston. However, upon closer examination of the source material, it becomes clear that Vectivus was neither good nor nice. Instead, he was a master of manipulation who exemplified Sith values in subtler, yet equally sinister ways. 1. A Sith driven by self-interest. Vectivus did not strive for galactic domination like Palpatine or indulge in unrestrained brutality like Darth Vader. Instead, his approach to Sith philosophy focused on personal gain and the pursuit of power within a controlled environment. He operated as a corporate magnate, leveraging his influence to maintain wealth and power. While this might seem innocuous compared to the atrocities committed by other Sith, it reflects the core Sith trait of self-serving ambition. Vectivus chose the business world not out of moral restraint, but because it allowed him to thrive without attracting undue attention. In Betrayal, Lamia describes Vectivus as someone who lived a life of ethical Sith practices, but Sith ethics are not universal ethics. His morality was likely defined by his ability to gain power without disrupting his own carefully curated stability. This focus on self-interest over altruism places him firmly within the Sith archetype. 2. Manipulation and control through the Force. Vectivus's association with the Force Phantoms in the asteroid habitat demonstrates his willingness to exploit dark side powers in sinister ways. Force Phantoms are creations of the dark side, entities that embody fear and manipulation. Vectivus used them as tools to maintain control over his environment, not out of necessity but as a demonstration of power. These phantoms caused fear and disarray among his enemies, reflecting his use of terror as a means to maintain dominance. His ability to harness such powers without succumbing to madness is often cited as evidence of his goodness. However, this interpretation fails to recognize that such control makes him even more dangerous. Unlike Sith Lords who destroy themselves with unchecked aggression, Vectivus represents the Sith ideal of calculated malice, a predator who never reveals his claws unless absolutely necessary. 3. Legacy and influence. While Darth Vectivus himself may not have left a legacy of conquest or destruction, his philosophy continues to embody Sith ideology. By presenting himself as a reasonable Sith, he perpetuates the idea that the dark side can be used responsibly. This normalization of Sith principles is inherently deceptive and undermines the light side of the Force. Vectivus's life, as described by Lamia, serves as a tool to manipulate Jacen Solo into believing that one can embrace the Sith without falling into ruin. This manipulation of Jacen demonstrates that Vectivus's perceived niceness is part of a broader Sith strategy, the seduction of power under the guise of control. By existing as a Sith who did not cause overt harm, Vectivus offers a dangerous justification for embracing the dark side. His legacy, therefore, is not one of benevolence but of subtle corruption. 4. The Sith Code in practice. Darth Vectivus adhered to the Sith Code, which celebrates passion, strength, and the pursuit of power. The Sith Code does not value compassion, altruism, or selflessness, qualities that define goodness. Vectivus's life was a testament to the Sith philosophy of using power to serve oneself. He may not have unleashed war upon the galaxy, but he did not act to better it either. His apparent ethical behavior was not motivated by a desire to help others, but by his own need for stability and prosperity. Darth Vectivus and the Rule of Two, a hidden adherent to Sith orthodoxy. To fully grasp why Darth Vectivus is not the nice or good Sith Lord that some theorists claim him to be, it is essential to consider his place within the lineage of Darth Bane's Rule of Two. Instituted after the fall of the Brotherhood of Darkness, the Rule of Two mandates the existence of only two Sith at any given time, a master to embody power and a learner to crave it. Vectivus's adherence to this doctrine reveals his alignment with the core tenets of Sith ideology and reinforces his position as a true Sith whose practices were consistent with the dark legacy of Darth Bane. 1. The Rule of Two, power over altruism. The Rule of Two was designed by Darth Bane to ensure the survival and ultimate dominance of the Sith. It focuses on concentrated power, passed from master to apprentice through manipulation, betrayal, and death. Each Sith Lord is expected to grow stronger than their predecessor, ensuring that the dark side thrives in its purest form. Darth Vectivus's tenure as a Sith adheres to this philosophy. While he operated in the shadows, avoiding the dramatic confrontations that defined other Sith Lords, his commitment to cultivating power and control aligns with Bane's vision. Vectivus's business empire and his mastery of force techniques, such as creating phantoms, demonstrate his dedication to amassing strength without drawing the attention that could compromise the Sith's survival. This subtlety reflects the Rule of Two's emphasis on patience and cunning, values that Darth Bane considered essential for the Sith's resurgence. 2. A master of subtle manipulation. Vectivus's adherence to the Rule of Two further discredits the notion that he was good. The very structure of the Rule of Two demands the perpetuation of Sith ideals, self-interest, manipulation, and the ruthless pursuit of power. As a Sith master, Vectivus would have trained an apprentice, indoctrinating them into these philosophies. The Rule of Two does not allow for benevolence or compromise. It is inherently predatory, with the master grooming the apprentice to one day overthrow them in a cycle of violent ascension. Vectivus's ability to maintain control over his apprentice and his environment without succumbing to the chaos that plagued other Sith reflects his mastery of manipulation, a hallmark of Sith orthodoxy. His willingness to operate within the confines of the Rule of Two, a system that demands betrayal as a rite of passage, highlights his commitment to the dark side and disproves any notion of moral restraint. 3. Contrast with Darth Bane's vision of the Sith. Darth Bane envisioned the Sith as an order defined by strength, cunning, and the ability to adapt. Vectivus's approach may seem unconventional, but it aligns perfectly with Bane's doctrine. Instead of pursuing power through open conquest or destructive ambition, Vectivus wielded it in subtler ways, using wealth and influence to achieve dominance. This divergence from the more violent methods of Sith like Darth Sidious or Darth Vader does not make him less of a Sith. On the contrary, it makes him a more dangerous adherent to the Rule of Two. His ability to thrive without drawing the ire of the Jedi or collapsing under his own hubris demonstrates a level of control that Bane himself might have admired. Vectivus did not need to rule the galaxy to embody Sith principles. His mastery of his domain and his legacy within the Rule of Two ensured that the Sith order remained strong. 4. The hypocrisy of ethical Sith practices. Lumiya's description of Vectivus as an ethical Sith in Legacy of the Force. Betrayal is deceptive. The Rule of Two explicitly rejects conventional morality in favor of Sith ethics, which prioritize personal power over collective good. Vectivus's so-called ethics were likely defined by his ability to pursue power without jeopardizing the Sith order or exposing its existence. Furthermore, his participation in the Rule of Two means he was complicit in its ultimate goal, the destruction of the Jedi and the domination of the galaxy under Sith rule. Even if Vectivus personally avoided large-scale atrocities, his role as a Sith master ensured that his apprentice would carry forward the dark side's legacy, perpetuating a cycle of oppression and suffering. This long-term vision of galactic domination, rooted in Darth Bane's philosophy, makes Vectivus no less malevolent than his more overtly destructive counterparts. 5. Legacy of the Rule of Two through Vectivus. Darth Vectivus's legacy is often cited as proof that Sith can exist without descending into chaos and violence. However, this interpretation overlooks the fundamental nature of the Rule of Two. Vectivus's life and practices were not anomalies. They were part of a calculated strategy to preserve and strengthen the Sith Order. By training an apprentice and ensuring the continuation of the Sith lineage, Vectivus fulfilled his role within the Rule of Two, demonstrating his loyalty to Darth Bane's vision. His adherence to this doctrine disproves the notion that he was good or nice. The Rule of Two demands the rejection of conventional morality in favor of ambition, manipulation, and the relentless pursuit of power. Vectivus's willingness to uphold these principles, even in a more understated manner, cements his place as a true Sith Lord whose life was shaped by the dark side. Conclusion. A master of the Rule of Two, not a paragon of morality. Darth Vectivus was not an outlier among Sith Lords. He was a calculated adherent to the Rule of Two who embodied the dark side in a controlled and pragmatic manner. His life, though free of the overt violence and chaos that defined other Sith, was marked by manipulation, self-interest, and a commitment to the Sith Code. By training an apprentice and perpetuating the Sith Order, he upheld the legacy of Darth Bane and ensured that the Sith would continue to thrive in the shadows. The mainstream portrayal of Vectivus as a good Sith Lord ignores the deeper implications of his actions and his role within the Rule of Two. His subtlety and restraint make him a more insidious figure, demonstrating that the dark side does not require overt destruction to corrupt and dominate. Far from being nice, Vectivus represents the true nature of the Sith, a master of power, manipulation, and the dark side's enduring legacy. Darth Vectivus is not a good Sith Lord. He is a Sith who mastered the art of appearing reasonable, using this facade to mask his adherence to dark side principles. His lack of overt violence or destruction does not absolve him of the inherent selfishness and manipulation that define the Sith. The idea of a nice Sith is a contradiction, as the Sith philosophy is rooted in the pursuit of personal power at the expense of others. Vectivus may have avoided the catastrophic consequences that befell other Sith Lords, but his life and legacy remain a testament to the seductive and corrosive nature of the dark side. Mainstream interpretations of Darth Vectivus as a moral Sith underestimate the insidious nature of his philosophy. He represents the ultimate Sith predator, not through brute force, but through calculated, hidden control. In doing so, Vectivus upholds the true nature of the Sith, the pursuit of power, no matter the cost.